I'm doing some writing, and one of the things I was just writing about was belief. And in that Everyday Millionaire study, we found that 97% of the 10,000 millionaires that we studied, that's all of them, okay, it's almost 100%, said that they believed that they largely control their own destiny in today's America. And we did the same survey with the general public, and only 61% said they believe they largely control their own destiny.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's a simple thing. It's not a matter of positive thinking solves everything.
Right.
I do believe that if you think positively, that's a good thing versus thinking negatively. Glass half full is better than, abundance is better than scarcity. These are kinds of basic ideas, but I can't positive think myself into being in the NFL. I'm 61 and I'm not going to play in the NFL. So no matter how much positive thoughts I've had, so that's ridiculous. You can't. But the concept of believing that I can do something, and in the old motivator Earl Nightingale used to say, what I can conceive and believe, meaning I understand it and I can see how it's going to work, and therefore I believe it. Then I can achieve it. I can do it. And so if you believe the lies in the political landscape that all rich people inherit their money, which is a lie, most don't. If you believe that the little man can't get ahead, if you believe that because you're a certain race, you can't overcome those obstacles of racism, racism's real. If you believe that because you're a woman you can't overcome sexism, sexism is real. If you believe that whatever your thing is, your barrier is greater than your ability to overcome it, therefore you do not have the opportunity to do it. You can't do it. Then you've established yourself as a victim of that ism, of that barrier. That lack of belief causes you to do zero towards going to win.
Right.
So 100% of the time, the lack of belief causes you to not win.
Well, and it's interesting because when I've talked about this before, either in my content on building confidence or even like my fear talk at Business Boutique and that type of thing is, and I use the classic Henry Ford quote of if you think you can or you can't, you're right. But what we're really breaking this down to is if you don't believe it's possible, whatever it is, building wealth, getting ahead in your career, starting your business, if you don't believe that it's possible, then you won't try. And then you don't. But it's not because it wasn't possible. It's because you didn't take action, which started in your beliefs. And so I always, you and I both have told the story of the 4-minute mile. The fascinating part about the 4-minute mile is not that John Landy or not that Roger Bannister broke it. It was that 6 weeks later, it was broken by John Landy. It was broken 2 more times that year, and it's been broken 500 times since.
High schoolers run 4-minute miles.
What had never been done is now the standard. Because people saw that it was possible. And so it really does come down to believing something's possible, even if you haven't seen it, because you will begin to take action in the direction of making it happen. You'll find a way to make it work. You'll find ways around the obstacles. You'll come up with creative ideas because you believe it's possible. If you don't, then why in the world would you put effort and energy into
You'd be insane.
Into something that's impossible?
It's insane to do that.
Yes.
It's insane to put effort and energy to something and sacrifice for something that's completely impossible.
It's going nowhere.
It's completely impossible. And so that's what's evil and dangerous about these people peddling the idea that the little man can't get ahead, the idea that it's impossible to prosper in America today with the current systems, so the systems are all broken.
Why do you think that's so popular and so prevalent? Why is that? Why does it?
Because it gives me an excuse to lose.
Yeah.
It gives me an excuse to quit. And I didn't really have the energy and the courage and the backbone and the intestinal fortitude to get up off my assumptions and go do something. And so if you want to be a couch potato, now you've got a narrative.
You've got an excuse.
You got a narrative that makes it okay because, well, I'm such and such, and people like me, they don't win. And the problem with your theory when you've got that narrative is there's people like you that have one.
Yeah.
That have already proven your narrative wrong.
Yeah. Well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It does that's my point. It's not the power of positive thinking. It is the power of belief, because belief says, I don't know exactly how I can get there, but I can see that if I save 15% of my income, if in good growth stock mutual funds, how that's going to turn into $1 million. That's a mathematical thing. I can see how that's going to happen. And so I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. I can see how if I pay extra on my house, when I'm 32, I'm going to have a paid-for house in Amarillo, Texas, as an electrician at a substation, and my wife's a pharmacist. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I can see how I'm going to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And when you can conceive it, see it, then you start taking the action. Then when all the naysayers start coming at you, you're like, you guys can't do math?
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
You can't do math because you don't have some kind of false belief. It's not some kind of puffed up dreamland Skittles and rainbows thing.
Right.
It's based on a reality.
Right.
And it's like, you know, the first time I ever ran 5 miles without stopping, I knew I could do 13. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I did 9, I knew I could do a full marathon.
Yeah.
And once I did a couple of 13 halves, I really knew I could do a full.
Yes. And there's something powerful in that. When you do something hard, you do something new, you do something you've never done before, where the result is you surprise yourself. And at the end of that 5 miles, your natural thought is, what else can I do that I'm not aware of? And you start dreaming bigger dreams and going for bigger goals. And you go, well, I can do a half marathon. Well, I can do a full marathon. There's something so powerful in pushing yourself outside your comfort zone where the result is you surprise yourself. I didn't know I could do that. What else can I do that I'm not aware of? That experience you just described is so powerful in moving people into doing things they never thought they could do. Becoming a millionaire, running a marathon.
Atomic Habits and some of these other pieces of research that are out there, and Deloney could probably chime in on this big time. There's something about our spirits, our psychology, our emotions, our spiritual walk, even our intellect, that once it is stretched to a certain point, it cannot return to the same shape.
That's good.
Because, you know, the second million, they always say it's easier to make second million than first. Why? I know I can do it. I've already done it.
That's right.
I mean, you know, I'd be highly disappointed if I went out to run a half marathon now if I didn't complete it.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not in training for one right now. I'm not going to go do it. But I mean, I've run, 20, 25 of those things. And if I set out and did the training exercise, I've never not completed one.
Right.
And it just doesn't occur to me. But the first time,
right,
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
and I knew I was crazy about the 9th mile.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of crazy people around me doing the same thing, running this race, you know. But then when I finished, I'm like, it wasn't long before your brain starts going, I think I'm going to do this again.
That's right.
I think I'm going to do this again. Because you've had the success, the brain craves traction, and you never reach the point that you go, I can't do it again.
Right.
Because you've done it.
That's what builds confidence. People think that confidence is this feeling, it's a certain gene people are born with. I'm like, no, it really comes down to courage, where you act courageous, you do it scared, you push yourself outside the comfort zone, you do that first half marathon. Once you survive it, because you will, well, then you have proof and go, well, I can do that. So I know I can do it again. Your second one, you're confident approaching that second one because you have proof you've done it before. But it started with just trying, just putting yourself out there and being courageous. And after a while, you're like, now, when I first walked on my first stage as a public speaker, I was scared out of my mind. Now I'm confident. It's through the experience of doing it.
It doesn't occur to you that you won't be able to do a good message now. Yeah, and so belief does matter.
Yeah.
So you can be a Baby Steps millionaire. You can start from whatever your dysfunctional, screwed up background, whatever obstacles you've got. I know they're there. I know they're real. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm saying you can do it anyway. So get after it.